Community control!
Police kill, all out patrol! What do we need?
Community control!
Community control!
Community control!
Community control!
Community control!
That's right. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Kyle. I'm a shop steward with the Teamsters, and I work with the Denver Aurora Community Action Committee.
Woo!
Today I'm going to talk about community control of the police. I was going to talk a lot about, police violence in Denver and in Colorado, but it's pretty cold, right? So I'll cut that a little bit short. It is incredibly important, as I'm sure we all know, to recognize the violence routinely committed by police in this country. Is it sounding really weird?
It just echoes. It's just echoes.
All right.
We hear ya.
It's important to recognize the violence routinely committed by police in this country, and specifically our state. And a lot of us know about police violence, firsthand. We live in a city where the police beat up the elderly blind, and then we pay millions for the protracted legal protection for the cops who did it. Right? We live in a city where just last July, the police committed a mass shooting in Lodo, firing recklessly into a crowd of people outside a bar. Over half a dozen people were injured, and as Stevie said, right, this is domestic terrorism, right? If any other group did this, that's what it would be called. So it's really no longer if you protest you're shot at. It's no longer if you disobey the law you're shot at. You can be a victim of police terror just by being in public, right? We all know about Elijah McClain. It cost the state $15 million to settle with his family, an amount that, while high to us, will never be enough to make up for the loss of a loved one, the loss of a brother, the loss of a son, an artist, and a precious member of the community.
Yep.
We live in a city where the police are used as a cudgel against the members of our community who are homeless, wrecking their camps, destroying their property, and displacing them from the few places in the city where somebody experiencing homelessness can try and get some rest. We live in a city where a teenager, Alexis Mendez-Perez, was shot in the back by an off-duty corrections officer who claimed self-defense. This was a young boy running away, and the CO got his job back because he was supposedly at risk from someone with his back turned. This monstrous act will never be punished properly unless we stand up together like we're doing today. The point is, it doesn't really matter if don't shoot into a crowd or don't shoot a child in the back is part of police training, if these killers and wannabe killers can simply go unpunished. And as Stevie also said, administrative leave with pay is not a punishment. That's not a punishment.
Damn right.
These domestic terrorists need to be put away. Instead, the mayor approved $611 million for them this coming year. There's also a separate fund in the city specifically for settlements with families of victims of police crimes. That means they know that more police crimes are going to happen, and they're ready to throw money at them in an attempt to cover them all up. Guys, fuck that. That's wrong. That is wrong. We may not have the money, but we have people power. When you come to a rally like this, you're actively fighting against this system. You become something different when you join the crowd. We become a physical force that has just as much power as their guns. This physical force is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Right. So I want to talk a bit about community control and democracy. Because, to start, this is community control. This is democracy. Getting together and fighting for a common goal is what democracy looks like. The cops do it all the time, but they're a minority. The rich do it all the time, but they're also a minority. We don't live in a democracy. We live in an upside-down system where the minority rules over the majority.
Yep.
So every single time a group gets together and fights for something that the majority believe in, we're engaging in revolution. We're flipping the script, right? We become the rulers of society. We make the rules. We fight for the people because we are the people.
Yeah.
But do you want to have to come out to a protest? Do you want to have to come out in the cold every single time a cop pulls a gun? Because I don't. So, honestly, I'm tired of protesting, guys. We need a system in place that ensures that we make the rules for these cops, but more importantly, that we can reinforce those rules.
Yep. Yeah.
Like I said, it doesn't matter if no chokeholds or don't kill children is in the police rule book if we can't enforce that rule book. The cops can shoot into a crowd in Lodo and get away with it only if we let them get away with it. The cops can utilize $600 million against us only if we let them. So we need to build a broad system of community control over these police, and it needs to be law. When George Floyd was murdered, we all came together across the country. We proved that the majority should be the decision maker, and Derek Chauvin was put away. What if we had another method of coming together that didn't involve leaving the house, coming out into the cold, and being subject to more police terror every time? What we need in Denver and Aurora and in every city and every town across the U.S. is CPAC, a Civilian Police Accountability Council. We need civilian councils that have subpoena power over police, that have budgetary control over police, that have the ability to write policy for the police, that have hiring and firing power even over the chief, and to have the ability to disband the police if that's what a community chooses to do. All of these things will be enforced by democracy, through fair votes for representatives from the community, ones who aren't the sister or nephew of cops. Because if there's one thing I've found out from tabling every week for years at different organizations, from talking to so many people about this topic, pretty much the only people who support the cops want to be cops themselves.
Pig. Yep.
Now, a lot of people ask me how citizens can make policy for police. We're just everyday people and we don't know anything about policing. Like, police are some specialized job or whatever, and only they understand budgetary concerns or how to de-escalate a situation. But the proof is right there. They don't know how to de-escalate, and they waste budget all the time. People are a lot smarter than they think, and people know how to govern themselves. We're doing it right now.
That's right. Yep. Damn right.
It's not hard to get a majority opinion that police spend too much money on weaponry. It's not hard to show that police terrorists kill at an alarming rate in the U.S. It's about time we do something concrete about it. One thing you could do to work towards a future where democracy rules over the police is to join an organization, especially one that fights for CPAC. Any of the organizations here today would be great to join. Just please do it. You can't take on the police by yourself, and if you want to lead the fight, you need to work with an organization leading the fight. We need justice. We need accountability. No more administrative leave with pay. No more killer cops. No more wannabe killer cops. No more domestic terrorism from the police, and no more letting murderers and attempted murderers wander our streets. I've heard that if you want to change the world, you have to start with yourself. So if the cops want to stop crime, maybe they should quit the force and get a real fucking job.
Woo!